Ryan and I met in 2009 through a couple of our friends.
We both had a desire for adoption.
I was adopted, and so I felt like it was something that I really wanted to do, and Ryan felt the same way.
And she had brought up to me about fostering, and my initial reaction was like, no, we're not doing that. I'm not signing up for that heartache. She had asked me to go to an informational session. The Lord really worked in my heart during that informational session.
We have actually fostered a total of 10 kids, and we had only been licensed for almost a year when we were placed with the boys. They didn't come with much, which is typical. They had 2 big black trash bags. They had blankets, just 2 really big blankets, and just 2 stuffed animals. And then they were the clothes that they were wearing. And they were wearing dirty footy pajamas. I think Mason wasn't wearing a diaper, and Bo was wearing a diaper, but it was full. And you could just tell that they weren't cared for. There were some big concerns early on.
In the first week, we had dinner, we're in the living room, and I'm like, where's Bo? Pantry door's open, trash can's inside the pantry, and he is face down in the trash can, just sticking stuff in his mouth. And so that was our first experience, like, whoa, okay, this is something that that wasn't given to us, but that's something that needs to be addressed. Those are the types of things that anger you as a father. It's like, a 2-year-old that hasn't had food in 2.5 days. I couldn't go 2.5 days without eating, without being in a lot of discomfort. And yet my 2-year-old son and my 3-year-old son have experienced that. Sorry. That's hard to it's hard to process.
I believe the case began when cops pulled over these parents with 2 little boys in their backseat. They had meth in the car, they had paraphernalia in the car, felons charges against the dad, so he was arrested immediately. Later they find the kids don't have a whole lot to eat, and there was every indication of malnutrition and just negligence.
They had some marks on them, and that was really rough. I think our other past placements, there wasn't any visible stuff on them, and so it was difficult to see some of that. I knew this was going to be a case out of Montgomery County, and I knew that the goal for CASA was always a child advocate for every child. And so I was very happy that we were going to get a child advocate, in that it wasn't, the caseworker has their own responsibilities, the ad litem has their own responsibilities, but I felt like our child advocate was someone I could call. This is what we're experiencing. What should we do about that? The caseworker's got a whole ton of kids on her caseload, but the child advocate typically is only assigned to one case. Julia texted me and said, "Hi, I'm Julia. I'm your CASA. I want to schedule a time to come out and see you guys." She came over, and the kids loved her right away. It was nice to know that we had a child advocate on our case.
A CASA advocate is a volunteer set of eyes in a case, which I think is invaluable. When I went to visit the kids, it was clear this home was set up to take children. It was clear the foster mom was intent on providing a stable, consistent environment for those boys, which was exactly what they needed.
At the time, the caseworker was telling us that the grandparents wanted to take placement. I think in my mind, I really didn't have expectations. It was, hey, even if these boys are with us for a short period of time, I think that's okay. Shortly after that, the caseworker called me and said, the grandparents do not want to move forward. They think the best place for these boys is with you guys. Just seeing them interact with you, seeing that the way that they were attached to you, they're very comfortable with where they are. I remember the first time we met Bella. We went and met her grandparents at the park, and she comes up to me and she says, "Can I call you Mom?" I didn't know what this story was going to look like for her or for us, and I definitely didn't want to give her any false hope. And that, for me, was it really broke my heart, because it's what she really wanted, and it's what she desired. She wanted a family.
In the fall of 2019, she went into the system. She was placed immediately with her brothers in the foster home.
In our minds, we were going to have kids biologically first, and then we were going to adopt, and that's not what God had in store for our family.
I had literally come in the door 5 minutes. I'm interacting with the kids, and I hear her yelling at me from upstairs, "Get up here." I'm like, what? I literally just got home. I can't be in trouble. So I go upstairs trying to figure out why she's all excited, and she's waving a stick in my face. She's like, "Hey, we're pregnant." And I was like, "All right," and I'm not sure that the reality of that really set in then. God, you really do have a sense of humor,
When Bella was first placed with us, she had missed a good portion of her third grade year. And so I called Julia and I said, "Here are the things that we're seeing, and do you have any recommendations?" And so she sent me some recommendations, and actually one of those was an online program we used, and it worked out really well.
I've got 6 kids. When COVID hit and food is getting scarce and toilet paper, I'm going through the same struggles that Jennifer's going through. She's having a hard time entertaining kids who are cooped up all day. Some cool guys with CASA who collect bikes. I don't know where they get all these kids' bikes from, but they say, "Hey, if anybody needs a bike, let us know. We want to get bikes to your foster kids."
Julia had called me and asked me if we wanted bikes for the boys. And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So she actually brought the bikes over, I think the week after Bella was here. And of course, at the time, Bella didn't have a bike, but Julia made sure she was going to get a bike for Bella, and she did. We had just finished a FaceTime visit with Julia. I was telling her, here I am. I think I was 6 months pregnant at the time, and it's really starting to get hot. Told her I thought I really need to get Ryan to go get an inflatable swimming pool. And just a couple hours later, she sends me a text, and she says, "Go look out on your porch." And so I go out there, and I look, and there's this inflatable swimming pool and this huge basket of just goodies. So it was just neat to be able to bring that in. The kids were like, "Oh my gosh, a swimming pool!" And so we got a lot of good use out of that swimming pool that summer.
My supervisor, Susan, says, "Hey, we got trial coming up and it's going to be virtual." Sounds like this is the first virtual trial that CASA is handling.
Bella's case was about 6 months behind the boys' case. And they were separate cases, but they were companion cases since they were siblings. The judge agreed, based on everybody's testimony, she agreed to expedite Bella's case and move final trial up.
Mason, Bo, and Bella all together were able to be adopted. The whole family was there, and they had invited everyone, and they were all in little Zoom windows watching the adoption, and it was really sweet.
I remember waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and not being able to go back to sleep. I remember getting up and racing downstairs expecting for the people to already be online and stuff. I remember that I cried during the meeting. I was so thankful to be accepted to this family.
Oh, they were super excited. Bella's probably been signing her name, Bella Clifford, for, I don't know, since she was placed with us. Now legally, we were always a family, but legally, we were a family. A lot of other counties struggle with the amount of volunteers for CASA. I was really happy that we were in Montgomery County because I knew we were going to get a CASA. And I like that's an important priority for the Montgomery County CASA. And Julia always made our family a priority and our kids a priority.
Somebody's got to stand up for those kids that have no other eyes that are looking at them and caring for them in particular. What I do as a CASA advocate is really integral to their time in care. They see that. It makes a difference to them too.
We knew that, well, not everybody gets a CASA advocate. We were just very blessed. And the kids don't see it as another person that they have to meet as part of the system. You know, it's a friend that's coming to visit.